The skies tore open above New York City. Superman had arrived. Iron Man hovered in his Mark LXXXV, already calculating the fallout. "We need to contain him now," Tony said, "before it's too late." Thor gripped Mjolnir tighter. Cap gave a silent nod. But Hulk? Hulk hesitated. Something didn't feel right. Superman landed, eyes glowing, fists clenched, but calm. "I'm not here to fight," he said, scanning the team. Then Iron Man fired first. The skies above Earth had been quiet for weeks. Too quiet. Ever since the last multiversal event, there had been no alien invasions, no time fractures, no cosmic threats. Just calm. And that's what made Tony Stark nervous. From the upper decks of Avengers Tower, Iron Man stood in silence, watching the sky shimmer with a strange, pulsing energy. JRVAS had been picking up gravitational anomalies for days, but now the readings were spiking. It wasn't just cosmic radiation. It was something more familiar, something powerful, something Kryptonian. Then, without warning, a boom echoed across the city. Every glass window within a mile radius trembled. The clouds split apart like paper, and a figure emerged, trailing fire and energy, descending fast. Red cape fluttering, eyes glowing. It was him. Superman had returned. Thor was the first to react, summoning Mjolnir with a crack of lightning. "He brings a storm," he muttered, "but I do not know whose side it rides with." Captain America stood firm, shielding his eyes. "We need answers, not assumptions." Iron Man was already airborne, scanning Superman's vitals, trajectory, and threat level. Red Sun weapons were activated. Protocol Omega was online. He wasn't waiting for diplomacy. "Something's wrong," Stark said over comms. "He's not broadcasting any recognizable IFF signal. His suit's been modified. And those energy readings, he's charged far beyond normal." Bruce Banner watched silently from a monitor. But inside, the Hulk was already stirring. His heartbeat was rising. There was a sense of familiarity, but also a deep, unshakable unease. Superman landed in Times Square like a meteor, sending shockwaves through the asphalt. Pedestrians screamed. Car alarms wailed. He stood there, calm, composed, his cape rippling in the wind. Not a scratch on him. "I'm not here to fight," he said, voice calm but carrying. "But you won't like why I've come." Tony hovered overhead. "Then you won't mind answering a few questions, truthfully." Superman looked up. "I don't answer to you." That was enough for Stark. He fired. A concentrated pulse of red sun energy surged toward Superman. It struck him directly in the chest, but the Kryptonian didn't even flinch. The energy crackled and dispersed, absorbed like sunlight into steel. The crowd panicked. People ran in every direction. And before anyone could stop it, the battle had begun. Thor came down like thunder, swinging Mjolnir with a war cry. Superman caught the hammer with one hand mid-swing, and the sound of the clash shattered nearby windows. Cap threw his shield. Superman sidestepped it like he'd seen it coming a second before it was thrown. And yet, he still hadn't thrown a punch. Back at HQ, Bruce clenched his fists. "This isn't right." He's holding back. But no one was listening. Falcon was in the air, War Machine flanked Iron Man, and the entire street had turned into a war zone. Heat vision shot across the skyline, narrowly missing buildings. Thor unleashed divine lightning. Iron Man called in a satellite strike. Smoke filled the sky, and Superman still wasn't fighting back. Then, in a blur of green, Hulk landed in the middle of it all, his roar silencing even the thunder for a moment. But instead of charging at Superman, he stood in front of him, between the Kryptonian and the Avengers. Everyone froze. "Get out of the way, Hulk," Tony yelled. "He's not here for tea." Hulk looked at Iron Man, then at Superman. He took a deep breath, then said something none of them expected. "He saved me." Tony blinked. "What?" Bruce's voice came through the comms, calm, rare for him. 3 months ago, during the wormhole collapse near Saturn. You all thought I teleported back, but I didn't. Superman found me unconscious, drifting. He pulled me out. S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't report it. He asked them not to. Superman didn't deny it. "I've seen his eyes when he's angry," Hulk said, slowly turning toward the team. These aren't those eyes. Thor looked conflicted. Cap lowered his shield. Tony, furious, adjusted his trajectory, flying lower. That doesn't explain why he's here now, unannounced, powered up, and refusing to give straight answers. I came, Superman said, finally stepping forward, because Earth is about to make a mistake it won't survive. I didn't ask permission, because you'd never believe me unless I showed up like this. Cap stepped forward. Then show us. We're listening now. Iron Man wasn't convinced. No, not until we understand what he's hiding. Superman turned to the team. Stark's satellite array is cracking open a dimensional rift. One that reaches into an alternate version of your world. Something's coming through. Something wearing a familiar face, but it's not human anymore. And it's your fault, Tony. The team collectively turned toward Iron Man. You were running simulations without clearance. Natasha's voice cut in from a secure comm. Tony clenched his fists. I was trying to prepare us for the next Thanos-level threat. Something beyond even the multiverse. I didn't expect this. Superman nodded. No one ever does. But now we have less than 72 hours before that rift opens wide enough for the first wave. Hulk looked at Tony. Are we still fighting him? Tony hesitated. The air was thick with heat, tension, and the weight of misjudgment. Superman extended his hand. I don't want to fight. I want to save your world. Again. And for the first time since the sky cracked open, Iron Man didn't have a response. Tony Stark didn't like being wrong. As Superman stood there, powerful, calm, and extending a hand, every protocol in Tony's suit screamed at him. This wasn't how threats acted. This wasn't how invaders talked. But still, it didn't make sense. Nothing about this felt safe. A threat that required Superman to intervene? A rift caused by his own satellites? No warning? No intel? Stark hated being in the dark. And worse than that, he hated being the one who opened the wrong door. But before he could respond, a burst of energy flickered through the clouds, a tear in the sky. Just for a second, like lightning folding in reverse. And in that instant, the sky bled purple. Superman's head snapped upward. It started. Falcon radioed in from above. Did anyone else see that flash? JRVIS is detecting mass fluctuations in the upper stratosphere. Cap's voice cut through the tension. Then we don't have time for blame. Superman pointed toward the sky. That wasn't an attack. That was a ping. Something from the other side is scanning our defenses. Tony's HUD exploded with new data. Heat signatures were multiplying, but nothing visible. Dimensions were overlapping, like reflections from a broken mirror. Why didn't you just tell us? He snapped. I tried, Superman answered. The last time I came peacefully, I was met with lead-line bunkers and kryptonite rifles. Thor turned to Tony. Enough. If he is truly here to protect this realm, then we must treat him as an ally, not a pawn. But Tony wasn't done. Without warning, he triggered Omega Protocol 17. From orbit, a Stark-class drone dropped, triangular, sleek, and crackling with red energy. It wasn't just armed with red sun tech this time. It had quantum destabilizers. A direct shot would weaken Superman's core molecular field for at least 30 seconds. Tony, what are you doing? Cap shouted. Buying time. If he's wrong, we die. If he's lying, we die faster. Superman looked up. The drone locked on. He didn't move. The blast hit him full force, a silent explosion of red light that consumed the entire block. The sound vanished in the vacuum of energy discharge, and all that remained was a swirling red cloud. No Superman. Thor flew forward. Hulk snarled. Cap shouted into comms for ceasefire, but it was too late. The dust cleared, and standing in the crater, scorched, bleeding slightly, but still upright, was Superman. He didn't look angry. He looked disappointed. You're making the same mistake your enemies make, he said, voice low. You think power without trust is leadership. It's not. It's fear. And then finally he moved. Not to strike, but to lift. In one swift motion, he grabbed the Stark drone, hundreds of tons of armor and tech, and hurled it into orbit with a sonic boom. that cracked every window for miles. Iron Man raised his arms, ready for retaliation. But Superman didn't attack. He simply stepped back. And then the sky opened again. This time, the rip stayed open, wide, jagged, unnatural. And from it, something began to emerge. Metallic, humanoid, glitching between frames, like it didn't belong in this reality. Stark's AI scanned it. No match found. Not Ultron. Not Vision. Unknown. Thor summoned lightning. Cap raised his shield. And Hulk ran. Straight at it. But the thing didn't even flinch. Its body twisted, split open into multiple forms, like a kaleidoscope of machines. Hulk punched one, it vanished. Another slammed into him from behind. Superman rocketed upward, catching Hulk mid-fall before he hit the ground. They landed hard, but alive. "This is just the echo," Superman said. "The real invasion comes after they finish mapping our reality." Tony finally understood. This wasn't a war against invaders. This was a war against versions of themselves, fractured, corrupted by alternate timelines. A virus of possibility. One of the mechanical entities opened its mouth. It spoke in a voice that wasn't its own. It was Tony's. "You built the door, Stark. Now watch what walks through it." Iron Man backed up, shaken. "That's my voice. But it's not me," Cap shouted. "Everyone regroup." Now, Thor slammed Mjolnir down, creating a lightning shield around the team. "We end this now, before it spreads." But Superman held out a hand. "No. If you fight here, you destroy the city." Another flicker of energy surged across the sky. The rift expanded. More figures emerged. Some looked like twisted Iron Men, others like demonic Thors. One wore Cap's shield, shattered, bloodstained, and burned. Tony gritted his teeth. "I'll take responsibility. I'll shut it down." Superman shook his head. "Not alone. You're part of this now, but so am I." Hulk looked around, breathing heavily. "Then what do we do?" Superman turned to the team. "We fight smart. We fight together. And we make sure this version of Earth doesn't fall like the others." Cap gave a grim nod. "Then let's move. Avengers and Superman." He looked up. "Let's assemble." The world didn't feel stable anymore. Not physically. Gravity still held. Buildings still stood. But something deeper had cracked. Reality itself felt thin, like one more mistake could tear it wide open. The sky above New York still glowed faintly where the rift had begun to close, leaving behind a scar that refused to heal. Iron Man hovered silently, armor humming, systems recalibrating after the shock. Every line of code in his suit told him the same thing. Superman had been right. And that made everything worse. Tony Stark had spent his life preparing for threats. Aliens, gods, titans. But nothing prepared him for the realization that he was the variable no system could control. Superman stood at the center of the ruined street, cape torn, blood drying at his temple. He looked tired, not physically, but in a way that came from carrying too many worlds on his shoulders. "You've seen it now," he said. "The echoes, the scouts, they always come first." Thor tightened his grip on Mjolnir. "Then the enemy wears our faces." "Yes," Superman answered, "and our failures." Hulk paced back and forth, fists clenched so tight the concrete beneath his feet cracked. His heart was racing, not with rage, but with fear. A fear he didn't understand until now. Because he remembered. Not just the rescue, not just drifting in space, dying slowly while everyone assumed he was safe. He remembered the other world. The broken one. Images flashed in his mind, cities in ruins, banners torn, skies darkened by machines wearing familiar armor. A world where Hulk hadn't switched sides, where Superman had arrived too late. Hulk stopped. "I've seen this before," he growled. Everyone turned. Tony frowned. "Seen what?" Hulk looked at Superman. The end. Silence fell. Superman met his eyes. "You remember fragments. That means the breach is already bleeding through your mind." Tony's voice hardened. "You're saying this thing can rewrite us?" "No," Superman replied. "It reflects us. The worst paths. The choices we almost made. As if summoned by those words, the ground shook. A new tear split open, smaller than before, but far more violent. And from it stepped something heavy, green, massive, familiar. Hulk froze. The creature that emerged looked like him, but wrong. Skin darker, eyes glowing a sickly red, armor fused into muscle, spikes protruding from his spine like trophies. It smiled. Hulk. Weak, it snarled. The Avengers reacted instantly. Thor flew forward. Cap raised his shield. Iron Man locked on with everything he had. Hulk didn't move. "This one's mine," he said quietly. He charged. The impact when they collided sounded like continents breaking. The street caved in beneath them. Cars flipped. Steel bent like paper. This Hulk was faster, meaner. Every blow was meant to kill. But our Hulk didn't fight like a monster. He fought like someone who understood the cost of losing control. Each punch was measured, each movement deliberate. He wasn't trying to dominate, he was trying to stop something. The other, Hulk, laughed. "You could have been God." They grappled, crashing through buildings, trading blows that shook the skyline. Iron Man tried to intervene. A repulsor blast struck the alternate Hulk's back. It turned and roared. A shockwave blasted Iron Man out of the sky, slamming him into a tower hard enough to crater steel. Superman moved instantly, catching Tony before he fell. "Enough," Superman shouted, eyes blazing. But Hulk raised a hand. "No," he said. "Let me finish this." The alternate Hulk lunged again, and this time Hulk didn't dodge. He took the hit, and then wrapped his arms around his counterpart. "This is what you become," the monster hissed. "When you stop pretending." Hulk squeezed tighter. "No," he growled. "This is what I become when no one believes me." With a final roar, Hulk leapt, carrying the alternate version straight into the still unstable edge of the rift. Superman flew after them, reaching out, but Hulk shook his head. "Trust me." He slammed the alternate Hulk into the rift core. The explosion of energy was blinding. When the light faded, the rift collapsed, violently but completely. Hulk fell. Superman caught him inches from the ground. They landed hard. Smoke filled the air. For a moment, no one spoke. Then Hulk stood up. He turned toward the Avengers, toward Iron Man. "You almost killed the wrong guy," Hulk said. Again. Tony struggled to his feet, armor cracked, face exposed. "I did what I thought." "You did what made you feel safe," Hulk snapped. "Not what was right." The words hit harder than any punch. Superman stepped between them, calm but firm. "This ends now. The next breach won't be a scout. It'll be an army." Cap stepped forward. "Then we prepare." Hulk shook his head. "No," he said. "You listen." Everyone froze. Hulk pointed at Superman. "He's been to worlds where we didn't, where we lost, where we fought each other instead of the real enemy." He looked at Tony. "And in every one of them, you didn't stop." Tony's voice was quiet. "So what are you saying?" Hulk took a breath. "I'm saying if you move against him again, you move against me." The line had been drawn. The Avengers stood divided, not by ideology, but by trust. Superman looked at Hulk, surprised. Hulk met his gaze. "I'm with you." Above them, far beyond the clouds, something watched and smiled. Silence lingered over the city like smoke after a wildfire. The rift had sealed, the corrupted Hulk was gone, and Earth still stood, barely. But something fell off. Superman could feel it in the air, like pressure building behind glass. He looked up. The clouds weren't moving. Time hadn't stopped, but something was waiting, watching. Then came the ping. A high-pitched pulse, undetectable to human ears, but enough to shatter streetlights. Thor flinched. Cap raised his shield instinctively. Iron Man's suit vibrated with internal warnings he didn't recognize. No one saw the new arrival land. They felt it. The ground flexed inward like it had been punched from beneath. A sonic tremor followed, but no explosion. Just presence. Wrong. Heavy. Intentional. Superman turned toward the alley where the shadows bent unnaturally. Then he stepped out. Black and red armor. A cold, burning core in the center of his chest. Not Ultron. Not an echo. This one was Tony Stark, but not theirs. His mask slid open, revealing a face older, scarred, and smiling, but not with joy, with certainty. "So this is the timeline that got lucky," he said, voice layered with static and malice. "You stopped the first breach. Well done." Tony's pulse spiked. "What are you?" The other Iron Man laughed. "I'm you. The version that stopped pretending we were ever heroes." Superman stepped forward. "You're not supposed to be here." "I wasn't invited," the Dark Tony said. "I forced my way through. You should have closed the rift faster. Too late now." He raised a hand. His repulsor glowed black, flickering with unstable energy. Everyone braced for impact. But he didn't fire. Instead, he turned to the real Tony. "You kept making excuses. For the damage, the loss, the guilt. I stopped. I took control. You became a tyrant," Tony muttered. "No," the other said. "I became efficient." Thor's eyes sparked. "You destroyed your world. I remade it." Then, like a switch flipping, the streets around them lit up with symbols. Glowing red sigils etched into the pavement. They hadn't seen him do it. He had done it before he arrived. Superman's eyes flared. "He's sealing this zone. No teleport. No exit." "Correct," said the Dark Stark. "No more interruptions. Just a necessary reset." He raised his palm again, targeting Hulk first. But Hulk didn't wait. He charged. Mid-air, he shifted into full rage. Green became a blur. The ground cracked beneath every step. He reached the alternate Tony in under a second, and was stopped. Mid-run, frozen, suspended in air. The Dark Stark didn't even move, just stared at him as time glitched around Hulk's body, holding him in place like a corrupted file. "You never learned restraint," the tyrant said softly. "You're a hammer trying to fix a heart." He closed his fist, and Hulk dropped like stone, motionless. Cap ran to him. No response. He was breathing, alive, but out. Thor exploded with lightning, flying forward, hammer raised. He struck the armored figure with everything. The sky roared in agreement. The other Tony barely staggered. Smoke poured from a cracked shoulder, but he didn't even flinch. "You're stronger than mine," he said to Thor, but still predictable. He flicked his hand. Mjolnir flew out of Thor's grasp and stopped midair, hovered, turned, and then dropped at Thor's feet. Dead, silent. Even the hammer knew something was wrong. Tony activated every override, every contingency. His suit responded with full power. But before he could launch, his HUD went black. Shut down. Hijacked. "Your system is still mine," the alternate whispered through Tony's own helmet. "You never thought to unwrite the code. You trusted your own mind too much." Tony's suit locked him inside. He fell to his knees. The dark version approached him. "I looked into 1,000 realities. In every one, you were the flaw. But in mine, I fixed it." He raised his hand, a black beam forming. But then it stopped. Superman stepped between them. No words, just heat vision, blazing, relentless. The dark Iron Man blocked it with one hand. A red field deflected the burn. Finally, he smiled. A real threat. They clashed in the air, trading blows that left sonic echoes across the skyline. Superman's punches landed like meteor strikes. The dark Iron Man returned them with quantum punches that bent light and sound. Buildings shook. Glass burst. One blow knocked Superman through 3 blocks, but he came back faster, angrier. And then he slowed. His movements became stuttered. Time dilation. The Dark Stark was manipulating reality in pockets, forcing Superman to lag behind milliseconds at a time. Enough to kill him if he wanted. But he wasn't trying to win. He was showing them. Tony crawled to his knees, armor failing. "Why?" he asked. "Why show us this?" The alternate knelt beside him. "Because I'm not here to conquer. I'm here to warn you. Your next choice matters." He stood and looked at the sky. "Something worse is coming. I tried to stop it. I sacrificed my team, my world, my soul." He turned to Superman. "But I couldn't beat it. Not alone. So now I'm giving you the chance I never had." Cap asked the only question left. "What's coming?" The alternate Iron Man turned his back to them and said one word, "Tomorrow," then vanished in a static ripple. The sigils faded. Mjolnir hummed back to life. Hulk stirred. Tony's HUD flickered back on. And the rift above pulsed once more, this time not with red, but with blue. Superman stared at it. That wasn't the invasion. Cap stepped forward. Then what was it? Superman's voice was low, cold. That was the prequel. The sky didn't rumble. It screamed. Not thunder, not lightning, not anything natural. A frequency so sharp it cut through the bones of everyone standing. The clouds twisted like muscle. Time buckled around the edges of reality. From above, a tear unfolded, slow, deliberate. Not chaotic like the last. This one opened like a gate that knew it would never be closed again. Superman narrowed his eyes. This was it. Cap looked up, shield in hand. Positions. Hulk cracked his knuckles. No more clones. Let's see what's real. From the rift, they emerged. Not hundreds, not thousands, just seven. 7 figures walked through the light, calm, coordinated, no wasted motion. They weren't monstrous. They weren't twisted. They looked perfect. One wore Stark's armor, sleeker, leaner, silent. Another bore a version of Thor's hammer, but it hovered at his side, moved by thought alone. A woman stepped forward with Cap's shield, except hers was alive, morphing with each breath. They weren't echoes. They were successors. The next evolution. Behind them, something stirred. Something massive, mechanical, ancient. Its silhouette cracked the sun itself. Superman tensed. They're not here to conquer. They're here to replace us. The lead figure spoke. You failed your timeline. Now it belongs to the archive. No one waited. Hulk leapt. Thor summoned storm. Cap charged. Superman launched skyward in a sonic boom. Iron Man, damaged but defiant, flew beside him. One last shot. Superman didn't look at him. No. One first stand. They hit the new invaders mid-air. Power met precision. Chaos met purpose. The battle didn't begin. It ignited. Below them, civilians watched the sky bleed light and sound. The Avengers were no longer fighting to win. They were fighting to exist. And somewhere in the void between timelines, the archive whispered, "This is how every age ends." But this Earth, wasn't finished yet. Not while they still stood. Not while they still chose each other. Because sometimes the only way to save the future is to fight like you have no tomorrow.